The United States, a country built on resilience, opportunity, and growth. But what happens when parts of that foundation begin to crack? Today, we're talking about the 10 fastest collapsing states in America as we approach 2025. These states, once thriving, are now grappling with economic crises, political instability, and a mass exodus of residents looking for better opportunities elsewhere. Imagine this: the American dream slowly slipping away, replaced by rising crime, decaying infrastructure, and economic despair. What went so wrong? And, more importantly, can these states bounce back? Stay with us as we explore the deep-rooted issues plaguing these states, and cover the shocking statistics, and reveal how these problems could impact the future of the nation. Let's dive in. California, the land of opportunity, innovation, and golden dreams. But beneath the surface of this iconic state lies a fragile foundation that's threatening to crumble. Think about this: California has the largest economy in the US, and if it were a country, it would rank as the 5th largest economy in the world. Yet, for many of its residents, the reality is far from golden. The housing crisis is one of the worst in the nation. Sky-high rents and real estate prices have forced families into homelessness. In cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, homeless encampments stretch for blocks, highlighting the growing divide between the ultra-wealthy and those struggling to get by. Then there's the environment. California faces devastating wildfires year after year, causing billions of dollars in damage and displacing thousands of residents. On top of that, prolonged droughts are straining the state's water resources, threatening agriculture and urban centers alike. And let's not forget businesses. High taxes and strict regulations have driven companies like Tesla to relocate to states like Texas, taking jobs and innovation with them. Even Hollywood, the heart of California's entertainment industry, is seeing productions move to cheaper locations. With these mounting challenges, California may still shine brightly on the surface, but cracks are spreading beneath the gilded exterior. Illinois is a state sinking under the weight of its own financial mismanagement. For decades, the state has been grappling with one of the worst pension crises in the nation, with billions of dollars in unfunded liabilities creating a financial black hole. Now, imagine living in a place where property taxes are among the highest in the country, yet public services are still underfunded. That's the reality for Illinois residents, and it's driving many of them to pack up and leave. Between 2010 and 2020, Illinois saw one of the largest population declines in the nation. Even Chicago, the state's economic engine, is struggling. While the city remains a cultural hub, it's grappling with rising crime rates, economic inequality, and a public school system in crisis. Mississippi is no stranger to hardship, but the challenges it faces today are pushing the state to its limits. With nearly 20% of its population living below the poverty line, Mississippi consistently ranks at the bottom in key areas like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Think about this. In some parts of Mississippi, access to basic necessities like clean water and healthcare is a daily struggle. Rural hospitals are closing at an alarming rate, leaving residents with few options for medical care. Schools are underfunded, and many young people are leaving the state in search of better opportunities. Mississippi's economy is heavily reliant on agriculture, but climate change and market instability are putting even that sector at risk. And while the state has a rich cultural history, it struggles to attract the kind of investment needed to create jobs and improve quality of life. Without significant reforms and investment, Mississippi risks becoming a state left behind in the 21st century. West Virginia was once the heart of America's coal industry, but as demand for coal declines, the state's economy has taken a massive hit. Entire towns have been left behind, with job opportunities disappearing and younger generations moving elsewhere in search of a brighter future. Imagine this: a state where the median household income is among the lowest in the nation, and access to healthcare and education remains limited. West Virginia's rugged terrain, once an asset, now isolates it from modern economic development, making it harder for industries to take root. Efforts to transition to renewable energy and diversify the economy have been slow and underfunded. For many residents, the American dream feels increasingly out of reach. Louisiana is fighting a war on multiple fronts. Rising sea levels and intensifying hurricanes are wreaking havoc on communities along the Gulf Coast. Entire neighborhoods are becoming uninhabitable, with flooding displacing families year after year. At the same time, Louisiana's economy is heavily dependent on oil and gas industries that are facing mounting challenges in a world shifting toward renewable energy. Add political corruption and underfunded public services to the mix, and you have a state struggling to keep its head above water both literally and figuratively. If Louisiana doesn't adapt to these challenges, it risks falling even further behind. Alaska, the largest state in the U.S., is known for its breathtaking natural beauty and abundant resources. But beyond its picturesque scenery lies a state grappling with severe economic and social challenges. The decline in oil revenues has hit Alaska hard. Once the backbone of the state's economy, the oil industry is now facing a downturn as global demand shifts toward renewable energy. This has led to significant budget cuts, leaving public services like education and healthcare severely underfunded. Now, think about this. In Alaska, food and fuel prices are among the highest in the country due to its remote location. Residents in rural areas often struggle to access basic necessities, and harsh winters make survival even tougher. The state's population is also shrinking as younger generations leave for better opportunities elsewhere. Add to this the challenges posed by climate change, melting permafrost, rising sea levels, and disappearing wildlife, and it's clear that Alaska is at a tipping point. Without a diversified economy and increased investment in infrastructure, the state's future looks increasingly uncertain. New Mexico, a state rich in culture and history, is facing a slow and steady decline. Despite its natural beauty and vibrant communities, the state struggles with some of the highest poverty rates in the country. Imagine this: in New Mexico, nearly 1 in 5 residents lives below the poverty line. Education is severely underfunded, with public schools ranking near the bottom nationally. This lack of investment in education has created a cycle where opportunities remain out of reach for many, leading to a brain drain as young, educated residents leave for greener pastures. The state's economy relies heavily on oil and gas, but this dependence makes it vulnerable to market fluctuations and environmental concerns. New Mexico has the potential to thrive, but without major investments in infrastructure, education, and public safety, it risks becoming another example of a state left behind. Oklahoma is a state that exemplifies the struggles of America's heartland. While it's known for its strong agricultural roots and energy sector, these industries are no longer enough to sustain the state's economy. Picture this: Oklahoma is one of the most tornado-prone states in the U.S., and the damage from frequent storms takes a heavy toll on infrastructure and local economies. The state's dependence on oil and gas has also left it vulnerable to market fluctuations, with economic slowdowns leading to job losses and budget deficits. Now, consider the social challenges. Oklahoma has one of the highest incarceration rates in the country, straining families and communities. Public schools are underfunded, and healthcare access is limited. These issues are driving residents to leave the state. Despite its hard-working communities, Oklahoma's future hinges on its ability to diversify its economy and invest in its people. Kentucky, a state with a rich history and a strong sense of community, is facing challenges that threaten its stability. The decline of the coal industry, once a major employer, has left many towns without jobs or hope. Now, imagine this: in Kentucky, opioid addiction has reached epidemic levels, devastating families and overwhelming healthcare systems. Rural hospitals are closing, leaving many residents without access to medical care. Education funding is also falling short, with public schools struggling to provide students with the resources they need to succeed. Kentucky's economy relies heavily on agriculture and manufacturing, but these sectors face increasing competition and instability. Without significant investment in infrastructure and healthcare, the state risks falling further behind. Despite its challenges, Kentucky's resilient spirit offers hope for a brighter future, but only if action is taken soon. Nevada is often associated with the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas, but beyond the Strip, the state is facing serious challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the vulnerabilities of an economy heavily reliant on tourism and hospitality, leading to widespread job losses and economic uncertainty. Now think about this: Nevada has one of the highest foreclosure rates in the country, with many families struggling to keep their homes. Public services, including education and healthcare, are underfunded, leaving residents without adequate support. Environmental challenges are also taking their toll. Prolonged droughts and water shortages are putting pressure on the state's infrastructure, particularly in rapidly growing areas like Las Vegas and Reno. While Nevada's economy is starting to recover, the state's over-reliance on a single industry makes it vulnerable to future shocks. Diversification and investment in public services are crucial to ensuring a stable and prosperous future for the Silver State. These 10 states represent the challenges faced by many parts of the United States. Economic decline, social struggles, and environmental crises are putting immense pressure on these communities. But with the right investments and policies, there's still hope for recovery. What do you think about the state of the nation? Are these challenges insurmountable, or can America's resilience prevail? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on the issues shaping our world.